What's up YouTube, this is Coding for Noobs and welcome to your 26th Java programming tutorial. And in this tutorial I believe we will be going over the selection sort. And basically how the selection sort works is it basically pushes all the lowest numbers to the bottom of the array, so like the lower indexes of the array. And pretty much it just sorts from lowest to greatest by looping through each number. So just to get started, I'm just going to quickly launch up my Eclipse. So open my Eclipse. Okay. One moment, please. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, to get started with this tutorial, the first thing we got to do is we actually have to edit our menu a little bit, and we're going to have to add another case to our menu, like our main method. So real quick, I'm just going to do case2 break, and then we're going to call this selection sort. And then in our menu, we're just going to have system.out.println, and then we're going to have number 2. We're going to call it selection sort. Alright. So if you remember in our last tutorial, I believe we did the bubble sort, which is right here. And pretty much the selection sort is going to be one function as well. So we're going to have public static int array selection sort int array. And then inside of our function, we're just going to return array like we did before, because we're going to sort the parameter. So return the sorted array. Alright, so the next thing we have to do is we have to create 2 loops, and it's a little bit different than bubble sort, whereas we don't have to actually loop through every value for the amount of values in the array, and we can pretty much do it like this. So we're going to do for int n is equal to 0 while n is less than array.length minus 2, I think it is, and then we do n++. And what this is going to do is it's going to loop from index 0 in the array until the end of the array. I think it's -1 actually. Yeah, I believe it's -1 because of the swapping. And then inside this, we're actually going to do another loop, and we're going to call it for int j equals n plus 1. So that's why we do -1 up top. And then we do, while n is less than array.length, and then we do j++, I believe. And there, so that's our 2 loops. And then really quick, I'm just going to do the if array j is less than array n, then we need to swap these 2 values, and that's what we're going to do here. Swap, and we're just going to do int swap is equal to array, we'll do n, so n is greater than j, well j is less than n, so we need to switch the values around. So we're going to do n is equal to array j, and then we do array j is equal to array n. And that should be our selection sort. So really quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and comment through this code just to explain it a little bit better for you. Oh shoot, not array n, this is supposed to be swap, sorry. There we go. Alright, so what we do is loop through the array -1, because our next loop adds 1 pretty much, and we'll go out of bounds if we don't do the -1. And then from here we just do loop from lowest, or like next selected index, to find the next lowest number. So I'll do a little diagram here, I guess, of how it works. So we'll have like a 9, a 7, a 10, and a 6. And basically when it goes through is it's going to go through and see that 6 is the smallest, so we're going to put 6 and then 7, 10, 9, and then it's going to go through again and see that 11 was okay, so we don't need to change, 7 was okay, so we don't need to change anything about that. We're going to go through again and we're going to see that 10 is greater than 9, so it's going to go like that, and then we're going to go through once more. Wait, no, because we do -1, so that's actually everything, and that's the array sorted. This one's a little bit different. I don't know if you guys will find this one easier to understand than bubble sort or not. I always found bubble sort the easiest to understand because you just loop through everything and you keep pushing it around. And you just swap the values. This is actually looking for the lowest value every time and keep moving it over and over and over. In the description, I'm actually going to leave some more information about this sort, so I might shed some more light on it for you and you can understand it better. But real quick, we actually have to come up to our main method here and we have to create an int sorted equals selection sort randoms, and then we do for int I is equal to 0, I is less than sorted dot length I plus plus, and then we do system dot out dot print ln, sorry, and then we're going to do sorted I. And we're going to see an error here actually because int sorted is now becoming a like we can't declare it twice within the same switch block, and because of this we're actually going to have to move our sorted out to our variables up here. I'm going to move it to, so we're going to have, I'm just going to quickly copy and paste it out here, and I'm going to put it right underneath int randoms, and I'm just going to semicolon it so it has no value. That way each time we call it, so when we come back down here to bubble sort, we do sorted is equal to bubble sort randoms, and then instead of declaring it again here, we can do sorted is equal to selection sort. And I'm also going to remove this system.out.print user has chosen option 1, and I'm going to take this loop and I'm going to cut it. And sorry, I just thought of this on the spot. And instead of using the loop here as well, we're actually going to delete that loop, and underneath our switch case we're going to launch our loop. And pretty much we're doing this under the switch case now because we're going to be able to use like sorry, there's an error here, and that's because sorted has no value. We'll get to that in a second. We're going to do this underneath our switch case, that way we don't have to keep typing this out. So all this is going to do is display the newly sorted array. And so to fix this error here, we're just going to go to default and we're going to do sorted equals randoms. And all this is saying is that the user chose an invalid option, so our data is not going to be sorted, so we just want to display the random data. And another thing that we are going to do, however, though, is underneath our bubble sort, we're going to say system.out.println bubble sort. And then underneath our selection sort, we're just going to say that it was selection sort as well, so I'm just going to copy and paste that over and change the text inside of it. And that way when you run the program, you'll realize, or you'll see which sort you ran. So let's try this out and just make sure I got the algorithm correct. I actually did it off the top of my head. So we can run selection sort, and we had an error in array out of bounds. So I guess I was right the first time when I said this is supposed to be -2, I believe. So when we run it the second time, we do selection sort, and it's still out of bounds. Driver 106, 1 second, sorry. I'm just going to pause while I look for the error real quickly, just to save us some time. Alright guys, sorry about that. So basically where our error is in this code is that when we're looping our for loop, I made a slight typo, and instead of typing J again, I typed N. So if we just change this to a J, the code should run smoothly now. So when we hit OK, we can do selection sort, and we have one error because we did -2. We can switch this back to -1, I believe, and do selection sort, and we're still getting, oh, I added this 2 as well when I was trying to figure it out. So we have -1 and nothing, and we do 2 selection sort. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'll copy and paste the code over, But pretty much just know that in our first array, or our first loop, sorry, we do for a integer equals 0 to our array length -1, and we go all the way to the end. And then our second loop is another integer equal to our first integer +1 to the length of the array. And yeah, so I'm sorry about that. I just had a slight confusion. Like I said, I did this from the top of my head. I'll post this source, the updated source, in a pastebin link, and hopefully you guys can learn a little bit about the selection sort. Just know that, like I said before, when it runs, pretty much we have, say, a bunch of numbers: 1, 2, 4, 6, 9. Well, I guess I should do it more in that order. 3. So basically, what it does is it selects the first index, and that would be our n value, or our n integer, and pretty much says is 2 greater than, or is n greater than 2. If it is, then push it forward, and it goes all the way across. And then we're going to take 2 and say is 2 greater than any of these. If it is, then push it across. Then we're going to take 4 and say, is 4 greater than 9? No. Is 4 greater than 6? No. Is 4 greater than 3? Yes. So swap 4 and 3. So this will become 4. Or I'll just do it on a new line. So we have 1, 2, 3, 9, 6, 4. And then in our next loop, we'll have 1, or let me run through it quickly first. So we have 1, 2, and then we're looking at 9 now. And since 9 is greater than 6, it's going to push it forward. And then since 9 is greater than 4, it's going to push it forward again. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, I believe 6, 4, and 9. And then we're going to have one more loop where we check 6 and 4, and we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, and that's how it'll end. So it's a little bit more efficient than bubble sort because there's less swaps and we don't have to check 2 at a time, and we're actually just going to push all the lowest numbers to the left or to the bottom. But it's still an older kind of sort. We'll get into more advanced sorting, I guess, in the next tutorial. Actually, I think we'll do shell sort, which it's kind of like selection sort, but a little bit more advanced, and it works a little bit better. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something. I'm sorry I messed up the code. It happens to everyone sometimes. Next time I mess up, I'm actually going to show you how I figure out the issue and how to go about debugging and whatnot in Java. I just didn't this time because, as you can see, I'm already at 12.5 minutes, 12 minutes 40 seconds, and I should really be going now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and please leave a comment if you have any questions.